Assalamu alaikum. Today, inshallah, we're going to cover chapter 1 of BUS110. And in chapter 1, we will talk about the dynamics of business and economics, explaining the nature of the business and the economic foundation of the business, and the difference between supply and demand and the different types of competition. If we want to define what is meant by the business, we can say that the business is individuals or organizations. Those individuals or organizations, they will have the purpose or the fundamental purpose of earning a profit. How can they earn that profit? By providing products to the consumers to satisfy their needs. So we can say that the outcome of any business would be providing the products. If you want to define what is meant by the products are the goods or services that have some tangible and intangible characteristics. Those goods or services will provide the satisfaction and the benefits to consumers. For example, if you decided to purchase a certain sandwich, and you decided to purchase it from Subway, you will satisfy the need of hunger, and you will get the benefit of the taste or the good quality of Subway sandwiches by that purchase. Okay? The product could be tangible or intangible, whether they are services or ideas. So the tangible goods include the cars, the computers, the mobiles, and the clothes. So that's what makes them tangible. I can see them, I can sense them, I can touch them. And if we have the services as a type of the products, we can say that the services occur when people or machine will process something of value to the customers. When you go to the doctor, they will do a root canal on your teeth, or when you send your clothes to the dry cleaning, or when you go to the movies. All of these are intangible services. Also, the ideas is considered as a type of the products when the professionals generate ideas to solve problems. For example, when accountants and lawyers try to solve certain problems by giving an idea to solve a certain accounting problems or legal problems to their customers. So as we said, the main purpose or the main goal of the business is to earn a profit. What's the definition of the profit? How can we define the profit? I'll give you this example. Imagine that you are baking a cupcakes or some cupcakes. The cost to make one cupcake, or how much it will cost you to make one cupcake, it will be 10 riyals. If you want to set the price, you will have to set the price, for example, for 15 riyals. How much profit you will get? Of course, you can calculate the profit by deducting 15 minus 10, the selling price minus the cost of making those cupcakes. Okay, so that's why we're saying that the profit is the difference between what it costs to make the product and what the customers pay for it, or the selling price of that product. So the goal is to produce and sell a product at a price that a consumer will pay. You cannot set the price for that cupcake. You cannot sell that cupcake for 100 riyal. Can you? Of course not, because consumers will not buy one cupcake for 100 riyals. So the price should be reasonable and should be payable, or the consumers are able to pay that price. And of course, it should be more than the cost of making the product. Earning profits is beneficial to the whole society. It's not just beneficial to the business that is being profitable. Why? Because when the business creates profits, they will be able to pay taxes, and they will create jobs to the individual who live in that society. That's why we say that earning profits contributes to the society. And of course, they should not just earn that profit at any means or by any means. They should earn the profit in a responsible manner, which means they have to earn the profit in an ethical and socially responsible manner. And we will explain what do we mean by ethical and social responsibility, inshallah, in details next week. Okay? But here we can say that to earn a profit, they cannot sell some unethical products. They cannot sell something that is not socially accepted by the society, for example. Okay? Not all organizations exist to make a profit. We have for-profit organizations or businesses, as we just explained, and we have another type of businesses that they don't have the purpose of earning a profit, yet they engage in fundraising to serve a certain cause, yet they have the same business functions like the for-profit organizations. They have management function, marketing, and finance functions. Some examples for nonprofit organizations will include the charities and the national hospitals and schools. What is required to earn a profit? To earn a profit, the business or the person or the organization needs to have three types of business functions. They need to have management skills, marketing expertise, and financial resources. Why do they need management skills? They need the management skills so they will be able to plan, organize, control, or monitor the business activities. Why do they need to have marketing skills or marketing expertise, which means that the manager or the business manager, they need to act as marketers, which means they need to determine what the consumer needs and want, what type of products the consumers need and want. Then they will have to develop or to manufacture or make that product to the consumers, and then they have to set the price on that product, and they have to communicate that product's benefits and advantages to the market, and they have to make that product available with the quantities and the locations that are needed by the consumers. We call these the product, the price, the promotion, and the place or distribution. We call them the 4 P's, and we will explain them in details, inshallah, when we cover the marketing chapter. We said that to earn a profit, the manager or the organizations or the businesses, they need to have management skills, they need to have marketing expertise and financial resources. Yet they need to abide by the laws and the government regulations. They should do everything legally, and they should abide by the regulations imposed by the government. And as we said, they should act ethically and socially responsible. And of course, because that business doesn't work alone, they don't exist in a vague. They work within a certain society, and that society is ever changing. It's not stable. So they will have some economic changes, technological changes, some political or social changes. So that business need to adapt to those changes to be able to earn a profit. If you want to define the stakeholders are the groups that have a stake or an interest in the success and the outcomes of the business. They are interested to have a certain business being profitable and successful. Most importantly, we have the owners, we have the customers. They are interested to have a certain business successful or profitable, because when the business is successful, the customers will continue being able to purchase their favorite products from that business. The employees is considered as one of the stakeholders because the employees are interested to get paid or to have a job security. The investors who invested their money, they paid amounts of money to help the business operate and expand. They need to make sure that they will get a return on their investment at the end of the year. The government regulators, they need to make sure that the business is abiding by the government regulations and they are paying their taxes and the zakah. And as we said before, the community will be beneficial or will get good benefits when the business is being successful, because that will the business pay taxes, and that will create job opportunities or employment opportunities to the individuals who are in that community. To achieve and maintain profitability, they have to produce good quality products, or the businesses need to produce good quality products, and they need to operate their activities efficiently. And when we say efficiently, it means with minimum resources, with minimum raw materials, with the minimum amount of time, with minimum number of employees needed to produce a certain products, for example, and so on. And of course, to be socially responsible and ethical dealing with the stakeholders. As we said, they need to act ethically and socially responsible. Here we will have a look on the business world. Business world center consists of the owners, the employees, and the customers, because they are the main stakeholders of any business. And then on the second layer, we have the business functions, the main business functions that we just talked about, that include management. Remember when we said to earn a profit, the business needs to have management skills, marketing expertise, and financial resources. So here they have the management function, the marketing function, and the finance function. And of course, as we said before, because the business doesn't work alone, they exist and operate within a certain environment and society. So they will impact the society, then they will get impacted and affected by the environment. Those changes or those forces include the competition, the economy, the legal, political, and regulatory forces. Let's take them one by one. When we said that here, we have in the second layer, we have the business functions. If you look at the management function, you will find the management function and the employees are in the same segment. Why is that? Of course, because management is concerned with developing or writing up or making up the plans to run the business activities, and they will be coordinating the employees' actions who will run the business or who will implement those plans developed by the management. And the management will organize the people to work efficiently with minimum resources, and they will keep them motivated to achieve the business goals. And the management will use the resources, the different type of resources, and we will explain now what do we mean by resources and what are the different types of resources, including the human resources, effectively and efficiently. And when we say effectively, it means to achieve the goals, and as we said, to do or to use the resources efficiently, it means to use the minimum amount of resources. The second business functions that we have, it is the marketing. And as we said before, the focus of all the marketing activities is to satisfy the customers' needs and wants. How can they do that? As we said before, by first determining or learning what type of products the customers want or need, and then they will have to develop those products or to manufacture those products that will satisfy the customer needs. Then they will have to set the price, and then they will have to decide on the distribution, when and where to make the products available. And of course, they have to do some promotional activities like advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, publicity, and so on, to communicate or to tell the market about the benefits and the advantages of the products. The third one is the finance, and the finance, it's the main responsibility of the owner. The owner is primarily responsible for obtaining the financial resources and for running the business and for expanding the business using that financial or those financial resources. So when we say finance, it refers to all activities that are concerned with obtaining money and using money effectively. And we said before, effectively means to achieve the goals. Why we study business? What made you choose study business. Of course, studying business will allow you to develop your more skills and acquire more knowledge that will prepare you for your future career success. And of course, it will allow you to work in any business that have marketing department, in the human resource management, in the information technology, in the production and operations, and so on. And even if you chose not to work, even before getting employed, as a regular customer, as a regular consumer in the community, that studying business will make you a well-informed consumer and member of the society. It will make you more knowledgeable about the actions and the tactics taken by the businesses. You will understand why the business X acquired business Y, why business X and Y have merged, why business X have increased their prices, and so on. Let's move to the economics. What do you mean by the economics? The economics is the study of how the resources are distributed in a social system to produce the goods and service. The resources could be of one or four types of resources. We could have natural resources, human resources, financial resources, and intangible resources. Examples for the natural resources, or anything that has not been made by people, like the land, the forest, minerals, oil, water, stones, and so on. The human resources are the labor or the individuals, their physical and mental abilities that they use to produce the goods and services. The financial resources or the capital are the funds used to acquire or to buy those natural resources and to hire those human resources to produce the goods and services. And the fourth one is the intangible resources. For example, and we said, what do we mean by the intangible? That's something that is not touched or sensed or seen. For example, we have the reputation of the business, the brand image, the patents of the business, and so on. So we can, according to that definition of the economics, we can define the economic system as how a particular society, how a particular nation or a particular country distributes its resources to produce goods and service. And for any of the economic systems, they need to highlight or answer three questions. First, they need to know what are the goods and services that they will produce, how will they produce those goods and services, and how they will get those goods and services distributed to the consumers. We have four types of economic systems. First, we have the communism, then the socialism, the capitalism, and the mixed economies. The first one, the communism, it was first described by Karl Marx, the father of the communism. He described communism as a society or a country or a nation in which all people, regardless of their class, they will own the nation's resources, which means the overall nation's resources or the country's resources will be distributed equally among the people who live in that society. Theoretically, it appears efficient and equitable and fair because that will reduce the gap between rich and poor. They will have no rich or poor people because everyone will receive the same amount or the same share of the nation's resources. But practically, communist economies suffer from low standards of living. Imagine that the overall nation's resources, especially if that nation is not wealthy, so the overall nation's resources will be distributed on a big amount or a big number of people living in that society. That will make them having a low standards of living. They will not have enough money to buy consumers' goods. So that will make the businesses not producing consumers' goods because people cannot buy those consumers' goods, and that will set high prices on the available products that are produced in that society, and of course that will open room for corruption and little freedom for the people who live in that communism society. Examples for the communism nations, we have China and Russia. The second type of the economic system, we have the socialism. The socialism is an economic system in which the government owns and operates the basic industry, and some individual will own most of the other businesses. What do you mean by the basic industries? It includes the postal services, the telephone services, the utilities, the gas, the water, the electricity, the transportation, the healthcare, the banking. All the basic industry in that society will be owned and operated by the government. So we can say, compared to the communism, the socialist system are democratic and recognize basic individual freedoms, and they will allow a higher standard of living compared to the communism, and that society will be more stable. Yet taxes and employment will be higher. Why? Taxes and unemployment, will be higher. Why? Because as we said, the basic industries will be owned by the government, and the government will make money by getting the people paying taxes. And because we have certain employees working for the government, the rest of the individuals will not be able to get fair chance to be employed in other opportunities. We have some examples for the socialism that include Sweden and India. Number 3, we have the capitalism, or what we call the free enterprise. The capitalism, it's an economic system in which the individuals own and operates the majority of businesses. Compared to the socialism, we said in the socialism, the government will own and operate what? The basic industries. But in the capitalism, here the individuals will own and operate the majority of the businesses. Remember when we said that for any for any economic system, they need to address 3 questions: what kind of products that they will produce, and how they will get those products produced, and how to distribute them. In the free enterprise, or in the capitalism, what will determine the answer for these 3 questions will be the competition, or the type of the competition, the level of the supply and demand will determine which goods and services are produced, how they are going to be produced, and how they are distributed. We have 2 types of capitalism. We have the pure capitalism, or what we call the free market system, or the laissez-faire capitalism. And we have the modified capitalism. The difference between them will depend on the government intervention, or how can the government intervene into the decisions or the economic decision made by the business. In the pure capitalism, there are no government intervention. The business or the individuals can take all the economic decisions without having any governmental intervention. Yet, in the modified capitalism, the government will intervene and will regulate the business by imposing the laws and the taxes. The 4th type, and the most used one currently, is the mixed economies. No country nowadays practice pure capitalism or pure socialism or pure communism. Yet most nations or most countries operate as mixed economies that will get them favoring one system over the other. So we can define the mixed economies as the economies made up of elements from more than one economic system. Remember when we said that the communism example, we have China and Russia? Now they have adopted some elements from the modified capitalism to advance their economy, integrating the power of the government with the advantage of the capitalism in addition to the communism. So here we're repeating what we just said, and here we're saying that the free enterprise or the capitalism will allow the business to be successful or to be failing according to the basis of the market demand. If the company can efficiently manufacture and sell the products that the consumer wants, the consumer demand, that will make that business successful. And those companies that they don't listen to the customer, they don't abide by the market demand or the consumer's demand, they will most likely fail. In the free enterprise systems or in the capitalism system, individuals and businesses have some rights. First, the individuals must have the right, it's one of their rights, to own properties and to pass those properties to their heirs or to their family members. They should have the right to purchase a land, to purchase a house, and to get that house passed to their family member. Number two, individuals and businesses must have the right to earn profit and to use their profit as they want. Number three, the individuals and businesses must have the right to take any type of decisions that determine the way the business operates. They get to choose how to operate their business. And individuals must have the right to choose where to live, what kind of career to pursue, what kind of job to work in, what kind of products to purchase, and so on. And the businesses must have the right to choose where to locate their business, what goods and services to produce, where to get those products distributed, and so on. Let's differentiate between the supply and demand. The supply is the number of the products businesses are willing to sell at different prices at specific times. So when I say I have the supply means how many products the business are willing to produce and sell at different prices and specific times. On the other hand, the demand, who will demand the product? It will be the consumers. So the demand is the number of products that the consumers are willing to buy at different price at a specific time. We have here the equilibrium price. What do you mean by the equilibrium price? The equilibrium price means, or it refers to the price at which the supply equals the demand, which means it's the price at which the supply, what is the supply? It's the number of the products the businesses are willing to sell or to supply would equal the number of products the consumers are willing to buy at specific time at different types of prices. Okay? To make it clearer for you, let's take this example. Consider that we have a handmade drugs business, a business that is selling handmade drugs. Okay, if you look at this figure, let's get it here, it's clearer. We have two lines or two curves, the red curve and the green curve. Okay, the green curve will represent the relationship between the amount of the products the consumers are willing to buy and the prices that they are willing to pay for. For example, if you look at the green line, it represents the first black dot on the left. It represents that the consumers are willing to buy 2 rugs for $650 and they are willing to buy 4 rugs for $500 and they are willing to buy 6 rugs for $350. Okay, if we look at the red curve or the supply curve, it represents that starting from the left, it represents that the businesses or that business is willing to sell 2 products for $350 and the business is willing to sell 4 rugs for $500 and they are willing to sell 6 rugs for $650. The dot or where the demand curve intersect with the supply curve, we have the equilibrium price. So here we can say that the equilibrium price will be $500 for selling or buying 4 rugs. Let's move to the competition. What is meant by the competition? We mean the competition means the rivalry among different businesses for the consumer's money or dollars. Competition is beneficial. Why? Because it enhances or fosters the efficiency of the businesses, and it will encourage them to set low prices by forcing the producers to offer the best products at most reasonable prices. Let's compare between 2 cases here. Remember, we had only one telecom company, one company setting the prices and controlling the offers that the consumers will get. How were the prices by then? The prices were very high and the quality of the service was not that good. But when we had the different companies of telecommunication companies, we have STCs, Mobiles, Zain, Virgin, and so on. Those different businesses or these different telecommunication businesses are now competing to provide the best packages or the best services for their consumers at lower prices. That's what makes the competition beneficial to the consumers. We have 4 types of competition or 4 types of competitive environments. We have the pure or the perfect competition. We have monopolistic competition and the oligopoly and the monopoly. Let's take them one by one. The pure competition, it represents the market structure that exists when there are many businesses selling one standardized product and there are no differences in the products. Imagine the companies or the businesses or the sellers of the bottled water. We have many businesses, many types or many brands of bottled water. So the water is a standardized product and we have many sellers for that standardized product. And there are no differences between the different types of the bottled water. Also, we have the salt, we have fish, we have all other agricultural products. Those are different examples for pure competition. So in the pure competition, I have many small businesses selling one standardized product that has no differences between the different products or the different businesses selling that standardized product. The second type of the competition, we have the monopolistic competition. In the monopolistic competition, compared to the pure competition, they will have fewer businesses than in the pure competition, and there will be some differences or slight or small differences between the goods that they are selling in these different businesses. For example, the soft drinks, or let's say the juices. We have Al-Mara'i juice, we have Nadik juice, we have Nada juice, and so on. We have fewer number of businesses than the businesses that are selling in the pure competition. And the differences here between them could be in the flavor, could be in the packaging, could be in the after-sales services or in the warranty, in the name. But all of them will satisfy the same consumer needs. Also, we have the aspirin, the soft drinks, and the vacuum cleaners. The third type of the competition, we have the oligopoly. In the oligopoly, the number of the businesses selling the product is getting very or more fewer. So here, there are very few businesses selling a product. And because there are very few businesses selling the product, they will control how much products they will produce and how many products they will produce and sell in a certain market. So that will allow them to control the product's price. Okay? And usually the prices charged by different firms will stay close to each other because if any of those businesses decided to change the price, a similar response will be taken by the other similar business. Okay, so here we have an example for the oligopoly. We have Apple, we have the cars brands, we have Google, we have Nike, we have Netflix. We don't have many businesses that are offering car brands or similar companies like Apple or Google or Nike or Netflix. The last one is the monopoly. It's the market structure that exists when there is only one business providing a product in a given market. Okay, like the utility companies. For example, the electricity company. There is only one electricity company. There will be only one natural gas company. There will be only one national water company in a certain market. The last thing that we will have today is the economic cycles and productivity. We can say that economies are not stable, they are not stagnant, yet they sometimes expand and they could contract. When they expand, we get what we have, the economic expansion, which occurs when an economy is growing. What happens when there is an economic expansion, when the economy is growing? That will make people have more money, so they will be able to spend more money on purchasing products, and because they have the money to purchase the product, that will increase the demand. So the businesses will have to increase the level of the production to keep up with that increase in demand for the manufactured products, and that in return will stimulate the employment because they will need more employees hired to produce more products that the consumers have demanded. And at the end, that will lead to what we call the inflation, a continuing rise in the prices. The other way of the economy, we said that they either expand or contract. So the economic contraction is the opposite of the economic expansion. So there will be a slowdown in the economy. And as a result, by having that slowdown in the economy, there will be less spending, less money in the hands of the consumers. So there will be decline in the spending of the consumers. And as a result, the businesses will have to cut back on the production. Why? Because the consumers, they don't have enough money to buy products. So they have to reduce the amount of products that they are producing. And of course, because they have to cut back on the production, they don't need that number or high number of employees. So they have to fire or lay off the workers. And at the end, the economic contraction will lead to recession. The recession is a decline in everything. Decline in the level of the production, decline in employment, and the decline in the living standards and the income of the consumers who live in that society. That was all for today's class for chapter 1. Before we end, I need you to go through this reading or case study that is available on the first page of the chapter 1 on the book. Excuse me. Please, I need you to read it. It's a good piece of case study that will tell you about the competition between the soft drinks companies Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and recently joined by Red Bull. And here we have some questions. Please go through them. They are also from your book. Any question? Thank you so much.